Hi everyone, Merry Christmas. Let's quickly start this tutorial on eggless alcohol-free plum cake. Let's start with the recipe. These are the fruits I have soaked for the Christmas cake. And these are the almonds which we're going to use as a topping. Then comes the dry ingredients, which is all-purpose flour, baking powder, baking soda and a teaspoon of cocoa powder. Cocoa powder is just to bring out the golden color in the cake. We are also going to use brown sugar because it gives a good caramel taste and also adds color to our batter. Then the curd, a thick curd. Then comes unsalted butter. And then hot milk. This is nothing but the molasses we make for the color. And this is the orange flavor from Fab. And this is the vanilla Madagascar essence from Osoro. Let's start with the process. First, we're going to add butter. And then we're going to add the brown sugar. We are going to cream both of this. People who don't have a stand mixer can use a hand mixer, hand blender, or even a whisk. A normal whisk will also do. Since I have a stand mixer, I'm just using it. Blend both together well, cream both together well to such an extent that the butter and the sugar are completely combined and the sugar almost melts into the butter, changing the color of the butter. Why we are doing this? This is mainly to incorporate air into our batter. A little bit of, it gives a sponginess to our batter. So this creaming is very, very important. Make sure you cream this well. So our creaming is done now. See, this is how we want our butter and sugar to be combined. You can see the change in color of the butter and the sugar. So now it's time to add the next ingredient, which is the thick curd. Let me clean the sides of the bowl before we do that. So now we're going to add the thick curd to the butter and sugar mixture. Once this is well combined, we will add the hot milk. Now what will hot milk do? Hot milk will make the remaining, the graininess of the sugar to go away. So because of the hot milk, the remaining graininess of the sugar will melt completely. So now let's combine this for a few seconds. Now you can see that the sugar is completely melted into the batter. I'm giving you a close-up look. So now it's time to add the next ingredient, which is the dry ingredients. Whisk the dry ingredients together well and then drop them into the wet ingredients. Now combine this only for a few seconds. If you're doing it by hand, then fold the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients very softly, gently, using the cut and fold method. Do not over mix. Now it's time to add the molasses. Always store your molasses in the glass bottle so that you can melt it when needed in the microwave. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of molasses. This is mainly added to bring out the beautiful golden color in your plum cake. If you prefer, you can add little extra for your cake. Once the molasses is well combined, it's time to add our soaked fruits into the batter. Make sure you remove the excess water or the liquid from your soaked fruits before you add them to the batter. This will prevent the spoiling of the consistency of your batter. Now slowly combine the fruits using the cut and fold method. Once the fruits are well combined, it's time to add the essence. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence and 1 teaspoon of orange essence. If you prefer, you can reduce the orange essence to half teaspoon. I just prefer 1 teaspoon, so I'm adding 1 teaspoon. Now again combine the batter. Once your batter is ready, it's time to pour the batter into the prepared cake tin. I'm going to use a 6-inch round cake tin. I've already greased and dusted the cake tin and lined it with parchment paper on the bottom and on the sides. On the sides I've put mainly because I don't want my sponge to dry out when it rises in the oven. Make sure you also line your baking tin the same way. Now carefully pour the batter into the mold. Make sure it does not touch the parchment on the sides, okay? So neatly pour it in the center. Once you've poured all your batter, level your batter in the cake tin. Using a spatula, like so. Once you have leveled it, just tap the tin on the table to remove any air bubbles. Now it's time to add the toppings. I'm going to use almonds. You can use any kind of topping that you like. But whatever topping you're using, make sure you dust it with a little bit of flour before you put it on top of your cake. This will prevent the topping from sinking into the bottom of your cake. Okay, so always dust your toppings. So I'm going to generously sprinkle these almonds on top of my batter. The batter is ready now to go into the oven. We are going to bake it for about 40 to 50 minutes at 160 degrees in a preheated oven. So our cake is baked now. We can do a toothpick test just to check. So the toothpick is clean. Now I'm going to let it cool on the wire rack for at least half an hour to 1 hour. Now it's been 1 hour and I'm going to demold the cake. I've removed the butter paper from the sides. Now slowly turn it upside down. And let it cool on the wire rack. You can see the texture, the rice in your cake. It's an eggless cake, can you believe it? So now I'm going to let it cool on the wire rack completely. Once the cake is completely cool, I would recommend you to cling wrap it and store it in the fridge in an airtight box or a cake box. Also, the cake always tastes much better when it's eaten the next day. And as the cake matures and the flavor matures, the cake starts to taste even more better because the flavor just gets nicely infused into the sponge. So I'm just cling wrapping it, and I'm going to store it overnight in the fridge before we cut the cake, and I show you the texture of the cake inside. So always double cling wrap it to preserve the texture. Today I've just taken out the cake from the fridge. Let's cut the cake and check out the texture inside. Let's remove the butter paper from underneath before we make the cut on the cake. Always use a sharp serrated knife for the cut to have a clean cut. So now you can see the texture, how it is. You can add little extra cocoa if you want more darker color inside. So finally your eggless alcohol-free Christmas plum cake is ready. Do share the video with others if you really liked it. Do try it out and send us the results. We would love to see what you have made with our recipe. If you really like this video, do follow our Instagram page for more such informative baking related videos. Thank you. Bye bye.